Hello everyone, my name is Jason Parker and welcome back to this channel about magic. And today we've got a real quick random question for you and me. It's a simple one, or is it? The question is, what is your favorite day of the week? And if you want to hear my answer, I've actually got a non-trivial answer to give, and that will be after the reaction video, so stay tuned to that. But in the meantime, go ahead and leave your comment below, or you could actually wait till after you've heard my answer, because then maybe the question will make more sense. It's a deep question about life. At any rate, time to get into the reaction video. This is Season 7 of Penn and Teller's Fool Us, episode... Episode 20, and the longest running ever season. This is actually the extension to Season 7. Today we're taking a look at Matt Marcy. He's an American magician who's combining magic and comedy together. At any rate, let's go ahead and jump into the reaction.
Hi, I'm Matt Marcy. I'm a comedy magician from California. I remember aggressively loving magic since I was about 5. I really wanted to watch and learn whatever I could, but back then, you couldn't find magic all over the internet. But when you're passionate about it, you just find a way to do it. When I was in college and I was supposed to be studying, sometimes I was just doing magic. I wanted to practice and develop it as much as I could. I even started my own magic club with 4 whole members. So I'm doing a brand new routine for Penn and Teller, and normally I do about 200 shows a year, but this last year has been anything but normal. And I haven't had a chance to put it in front of an audience. And recently, my only audience has been my 4-year-old daughter. Now I'm about to do it on TV in front of millions. But tonight, I'm going for the trophy. But it's gonna be great. I'm sure.
Okay, several things during this intro piece. At one point, he was holding a book called Penn and Teller's Cruel Tricks for Dear Friends. That sounds very familiar to me. In fact, I thought maybe it was, maybe they had like a DVD or a video version for that as well. I actually didn't know that there was a book, and I'm curious if any of you have read or potentially watched that and have any opinions you'd like to share down below in the comments, because I will read them. Possibly a little known fact, in the magic community, there is actually a huge amount of books written for magicians to learn magic. And if you haven't seen it, I did make a video where I shared some of my favorites that I've collected over the years. Link up here somewhere. I've got a pretty good sized collection of magic books, but that is not one of the ones that I own, so I will be looking for your comments. Second thing, there was that part of the video, in fact twice, where he's holding cards and they just jump open into a whole fan. And if you saw my recent video where I reacted to and interviewed Danya Diaz, she does this move called the Roman cut in her intro, where there's a card held between 2 cards vertically and it's like spinning when she blows on it. I thought for sure that was accomplished using some kind of string or whatever, but when I spoke to her, I found out that it's just talent and lots of hours of practicing. So when I saw this move just now, I was thinking like, maybe that's a real move too. But at the end of the clip, then he just hands it to his daughter and it's all like attached together. So I guess there was just some elastic to make it spring open. But anyway, it's cool because when you've been doing magic for a long time, you start to see a lot of the same things. You think there's nothing new under the sun. And then there's like something new. And third thing, during his intro, he was performing briefly a trick where he links together cards. Speaking of Danya Diaz, again, she had performed the full effect on America's Got Talent, which I had made a reaction video to. Link up here if you want to see the full performance of that magic effect. And I believe that effect comes from Paula Harris's Art of Astonishment, a book that's a favorite amongst magicians, if I'm not mistaken. That being said, let's continue with the video.
Sit back and enjoy the comedy magic of Matt Marcy.
Thank you very much. Allison, would you join me for a minute? I have an envelope here that's going to be very important in a little bit. I want to make sure that we all know it's the same envelope at the end. So I'm going to ask you to begin by writing a magic word on the envelope. It doesn't have to be abracadabra, but just any word in the English language that'll fit on the envelope and that you can spell.
Okay.
Go for it.
That's difficult.
There you go.
I don't know if I'm spelling this right. That's an O. I don't know if that's right.
Okay, you got, oh, hocus pocus, that's very magical. Good. Hang on to the pen, you're gonna need it again in a moment. Okay. I'm just gonna hang this up here where we can all see it. Perfect.
It's not my best writing, by the way.
Lovely. You know, Penn and Teller, I have always admired you, not just for your magic, but for your unbridled passion in your search for the truth. How you've exposed frauds and fakes and phonies. Well, I too have been searching for the truth in our world. And you know what I've learned? Everything is one giant conspiracy. From the fake moon landing to the crop circles, GMOs, Girl Scout cookies, that round Earth Society, it's all one big cover-up. Think about it. You go shopping at the Salvation Army where you get clothes from Old Navy. And what about this? What's 2 plus 2? 4. What's 2 times 2? Also 4. Even Teller isn't the real Teller. Yeah, I know. The real Teller was killed in 1990 when Penn drove a truck over him for a TV special. This imposter, this Teller, has been working with him ever since. Sure, he looks a lot like the real Teller, but the voice. He sounds like a 90-year-old chain smoker who just inhaled a tank of helium. It's a dead giveaway. Why do you think he never talks? Even the words we speak are under their control. You know who I'm talking about. Them. The Illuminati, the Trilateral Commission, the Deep State. Oh, don't tell me there's no deep state. What about Arizona? Have you been to the Grand Canyon? That's a deep state. Of course, what do I know? I'm from California, the shallowest state. And look, I know that there are skeptics, so tonight I'm gonna prove it. We're gonna play a word game together. My favorite word game, Matt Libs. And I'm gonna need to have some words randomly selected. Penn, I'm gonna ask you to help, if you would. And tonight we're doing a Matt Lib appropriately titled The Truth. And I need you to begin by naming any adjective that you would like.
Smiley.
Smiley. Fantastic. Next to number 1, please write smiley. Yes. Lovely penmanship. Penn, I also need a food you like, a food you don't like, something you're ashamed to feed your children, any food product.
Watermelon.
Watermelon, fantastic. Watermelon next to number 2. And
Okay, first off, Illuminati confirmed. Number 2, I'm already enjoying his performance, and we haven't even seen any magic yet. He seems very polished and at ease there on stage. In fact, I wonder if he's ever tried doing stand-up comedy by itself without magic. I wouldn't be surprised. And number 3, up there on the board, number 1, where she wrote the word smiley, I was watching her and she kind of hesitated after the L before writing the E, and I was thinking, if I were in her shoes, well, first off, I'd be wearing high heels, and that would be a little strange for me. I can already imagine my calves cramping, but I digress. Anyways, if I were up there, I would be feeling the pressure everyone's watching. I'd be thinking, oh no, no, no. Do you spell, well, you don't smell smiley, do you? Do you spell smiley with an E or not? Because, yeah, it seems like an obvious thing, you know how to spell that simple word, but in that moment, when everyone's watching you and seeing if you're gonna make a stupid mistake, then you start to doubt yourself and think, is there an E or is there not an E? Plus the fact that we have spell check on friggin' everything now, you hardly even have to think anymore. At any rate, back to his performance.
finally, a silly word, the silliest word. You can make up a one if you want, but she does have to spell it.
Hungary.
Ungady.
Hungary.
Hungary with an H. All right, sound it out. Hungary.
H-U-N.
Good. That's the Greek spelling, I think. Very well done. Teller, I'm going to ask you for a few words. Maybe you can convey them through pen. I need a type of vehicle, but make it an unusual type of vehicle, not one you see every day.
Motorboat.
Motorboat, fantastic. Motorboat, next to number 4. Very good. Oh, this will be fun. I also need an insult. Insult me. Call me a name. I'm a magician. I'm used to it.
Bloody.
Bloody? Bloody, next to number 5.
But that's like an
and
adjective,
finally,
right?
Teller, I need a present participle. Please don't make it dangling. That could be awkward.
Sparkling.
Sparkling. Sparkling, next to number 6. Very good. So, we ended up with smiley, watermelon, Hungary, motorboat, bloody, and sparkling.
Sparkling.
Yes, like your smile. Sparkling. There you go. All right, that's a good list. Now look, there are almost 200,000 words in the English language you could have picked. That's almost as many choices as you have at the Cheesecake Factory. And look,
True
I know
story.
even to you, Penn and Teller, those choices felt fair. But they control everything. And I'm gonna uncover their conspiracy right here, right now. See, before we started, I did this Matt Lib myself. And I blew it up really big, and I hung it in an envelope over the stage. An envelope that Allison wrote her magic word on, hocus pocus. I'm gonna get it down, and I'm gonna ask Allison to help me unfold it. Allison, would you step over here, please? And I'm gonna ask you to hold this corner. Hold on to it right there. Hold it up high. Here it is, the truth. In this smiley country, we think we have free will. But everything is a cover-up. From the microchips they put in the watermelon we eat, to the Hungary waves that 5G pumped into our brains, to the flying motorboat that crashed in the Nevada desert. Even Penn and Teller are just pawns in their bloody game. Oh, you can try sparkling away, but your only chance to save yourself is to shout the magic word, hocus pocus.
Matt Marcy! I love that game when I was a kid.
Thanks. Yeah, well, now you know how it all works.
What is influence?
That was great. I love those little awkward moments, these glitches that happen sometimes in our protocols and conversing with one another. Because Allison was saying, oh, I loved that game when I was a kid. And he responded with, thanks. Now you know how it works. Just to be clear, I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing with him because I know how these situations can feel. In fact, just the other day, I saw some post where they had a bunch of these like awkward exchanges where you're just kind of like, you say the totally wrong thing and you know you've said it and it's kind of like, ugh. Let me see if I can find one of those. Okay, this is something like what I saw before. One time I went to hand someone a bowl of hot soup and my brain tried to say, careful, it's hot, and here's your soup. But instead I said, careful, it's soup. Maybe I can find a better one. I once walked into a Subway, asked for a moot ball feet long, said, oops, directly afterwards, and then walked out. I can never go back. He wanted a meatball foot long, not a moot ball feet long. Okay, let's just find one more, because these are wonderful. Yesterday at Target, the cashier said, your receipt is in the bag, and I responded with, you too. Anyways, I think we can all relate to that situation. You know, you're up there, everyone's watching, the cameras are rolling, you just finished performing magic, Allison asks you a question, and maybe part of your brain just assumed it was going to be a compliment, like saying something that she enjoyed the performance, and so he immediately responded with thanks, you know, and now you know how it works. The autopilot just kicks in. Anyway, I love those painfully awkward moments, especially when I don't have to participate them and I just get to watch. Okay, number 2, let me go ahead and give you my thoughts about his performance. Well, I very much enjoyed his act, I enjoyed his jokes, his presentation, it just draws you right in. Number 3, about the method. I, a long time ago, saw David Copperfield performing this effect that was pretty similar to this, where he had a big like brick wall and he was spray painting the answers that she chose in different colors up there. And then he ended up with a similar prediction at the end. And I remember the first time I saw that, I was utterly fooled. And later I found the clip online and I watched it many times and eventually was able to figure out what he was doing and how it works. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, that this is the same kind of concept being applied here. At any rate, in honor of how Penn and Teller do this, I'll try to provide my own code talk now. Let's see. As with all things, and in his act, the magic, the comedy, there's always some kind of trade-off involved. But Matt wasn't okay with the sacrifice, and he wasn't going to take this sitting down. As Allison's writing flowed freely across the board, pure white, Matt, with a focus on perfect timing and clever jokes, was able to boost his performance to new heights, achieving a perfect synthesis of magic and humor and naturalness where all actions are justified. A work of art. Okay, I hope that was a sufficient code talk. I even tried to throw in a few extra things there that weren't required just to mix it all up and made it harder to figure out. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump back in and see what Penn and Teller have got to say.
What's your magic the most?
Well, I really like to do magic that's based around story and things in the world, like conspiracies that I can work in and talk about with my magic as I do it. Do you have a favorite conspiracy theory?
Like the world is flat?
I've never...
Traveled?
I've never traveled anywhere.
You've never taken a plane? Looked at the horizon? What is your favorite performance ever?
I did a series of shows in a stadium for 10,000 people a night for 3 weeks a couple years ago, and it was amazing to be in a room of that size with that many people, and you know, pyrotechnics and video support. And it was, yeah, it's like rock concerts every night. So that was super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course this right here, exposing the truth about Matt Libs.
Yes. All right, let's see if Penn and Teller can expose the truth about your trick.
Hey, Matt. Well, as you know, Teller saw your one-man show several years ago, and he still lights up when he sees you. He just thought that was a wonderful, wonderful show. And this is a great routine. Mad Libs is always funny, and you have just a nice style and a nice delivery and a nice trick, a really beautiful trick. And I'm looking back over the list of things and wishing that instead of hungity, which is a personal word that came out of nowhere, that I'd use the word confabulation. But there's all sorts of words that could have gone in there. But it was a wonderful version and just funny, and you get all the laughs and tie it all together with the truth thing and the conspiracy and the proof of the Illuminati. Getting all that together was just really funny, wonderful, wonderful routine, and I don't think you fooled us, and I hope I got a word or two in there.
Well,
Well, of course, I mean, of course this is all really exposing the truth, but if it were a trick, then I think they would have figured out how I did it.
So it's not a conspiracy? They know how you did your trick?
Yes.
All right, you didn't fool them, but thank you, Matt Marcy!
Oakley dokily day. Let me go ahead and give you my closing thoughts. So yeah, that's basically what I expected after I heard Penn and Teller's code talk, but I will say that he gave an excellent performance, highly entertaining. In fact, if he were in town, he is someone that I would actually pay to go see. Just the way he carries himself on the stage is very relaxed, his humor is great. I mean, I would pay to go see a good stand-up comic, but he's doing magic at the same time. Why just pay for magic when you can get magic and comedy? Am I right? Smash like. Second thing, I thought it was clever how he named it Matt Libs instead of Mad Libs. I guess to avoid real life copy strikes. Comment below if you ever played Mad Libs as a child or as an adult. Maybe you're playing Mad Libs right now. Also make sure to leave a comment below what you thought about Matt's performance, and have you ever seen that David Copperfield act that I was talking about in reference to this effect? And now, I told you I was going to give you my answer from that question at the beginning of the video, or I could just read you an Aesop's fable first. I'm sorry, I just had a weird feeling. It felt like it got cold or something. Probably nothing. But anyway, yeah, let's start with Aesop's fable, and then we'll do the answer to the question. We have got chapter 252, Hercules and Minerva. Looks like a pretty short one. Hercules was once traveling along a narrow road when he saw laying on the ground in front of him what appeared to be an apple, and as he passed, he stamped upon it with his heel. To his astonishment, instead of being crushed, it doubled in size, and on his attacking it again and smiting it with his club, it swelled up to an enormous size and blocked up the whole road. That's a very cool visual and strange concept. Proceeding. Upon this, he dropped his club and stood looking at it in amazement. Just then, Minerva appeared and said to him, "Leave it alone, my friend. That which you see before you is the apple of discord. If you do not meddle with it, it remains small as it was at first, but if you resort to violence, it swells up into the thing you see." And no moral of the storyline. Interesting. That was such a strange story, and this apple of discord is capitalized. I wonder if that's some concept I was supposed to be familiar with beforehand? Have you ever heard of the apple of discord? You know, I should probably just Google this in case. Apple of discord. Now yeah, there's a Wikipedia entry. An apple of discord is the core, kernel, or crux of an argument, or a small matter that could lead to a bigger dispute. Oh, okay. I see what they're trying to say with this story. Oh, and there's a lot more here in this article. It is a reference to the golden apple of discord in the story The Judgment of Paris, which according to blah, 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 the goddess tossed in the midst of the feast of the gods at the wedding as a prize of beauty, this vanity dispute among that eventually led to the Trojan War. All right. So I think we have enough information to solve this puzzle. So basically, it's just saying, like, choose your battles, you know? If perhaps if you have like a small argument with your friend and you just kind of keep pushing it and it grows into a bigger argument, it could become a huge dispute. You could lose your friendship. Or it doesn't even have to be with a friend. It could be with some business associate or colleague. Here we should say that the wisdom is the important thing to have, the discerning, so you can tell, is the person that you're communicating with getting really entrenched on their side? Are they getting irritated? Is it important for them? And is it important for you? Is it worth starting a battle over? Because maybe if you're gonna eat Mexican food today, it's really important to your friend and it's not so important to you. So just let them have that one. Obviously, if it's about the way the toilet paper should go when it's attached to the mount, there's only one correct direction and you should fight that to the death. But if it's anything else, maybe you can just let it go. Don't keep beating that apple until it blocks the whole road, even if you're Hercules. Yes, I think we have successfully interpreted this fable. And thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video and for smashing like. Or if you've already done that, then just subscribing and clicking notification bell all. And as I promised, I said I would answer that question from the beginning of the video, which day is your favorite day of the week? And the reason I chose this question is because I actually have a non-trivial answer. It used to be that my favorite day of the week was Friday, of course, because it's the weekend, it's time to relax. But now that I'm working by myself, my own boss, working on YouTube here, by the way, this is my full-time job. If you didn't know that, I'm not doing anything else. I quit being a software developer. I used to work the Monday through Friday, but now I'm just out here. making videos. At any rate, what I wanted to get to is that I don't particularly have a favorite day of the week now, because pretty much any day I could be working or relaxing. It's all just kind of mixed together. And I know you're thinking that would be great. That would be amazing to be your own boss and not have to report to someone else and go to the corporate office. Or maybe you're thinking that, I'm just assuming. But the core of what I want to say about this is that essentially the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. Sometimes, one situation is just clearly better than another situation. But more often than not in life, I find that other situations can be a little bit better, but when you're in that new situation, you discover there were some cons. There's the pros and the cons that you didn't realize. And when you come to this side of the fence, you look back and you see, well, actually, that grass where you were standing before was green too. It's just a different shade of green. So to say this briefly, I was just kind of like working all the time, relaxing, working, relaxing, everything was mixed together. And in December, I kind of ended up getting burned out, and I didn't even realize it was happening until it was happening. And essentially, I'm saying that that's a benefit of the regular Monday through Friday type of job. This structure, which sometimes you don't like, which constrains you, is actually a good thing in some ways. You have these 5 days of working, then you have 2 days off. Oh, it's the weekend, Then back to work, then the weekend. It's just this recurring structure. And I've finally come to realize after about 2.5 years of doing YouTube that I need to try to incorporate a weekend somewhere into my week also. But it's very hard because I can be at home and I can be thinking, I need to get another YouTube video out. I'm running behind schedule. I don't need a day off. I'm just going to keep going. Besides, this is magic. This is creating videos. This is stuff that I love to do. But then you can get burned out. So you really have to be vigilant and disciplined to create some kind of structure for yourself, which is what I'm trying to do now. And another benefit of having these normal types of jobs is just that mingling that you do. When you go in there and you see your coworkers, on Monday and you're like, hey, did you see that new movie? It's pretty cool. What'd you think? Okay. And then you start working. I didn't realize that was anything special until it was gone, until I'm over here just kind of working by myself. I gotta make special effort to get in contact with friends and family, and it doesn't just happen automatically. When you have this normal Monday through Friday job, you go to work, it just happens whether you want it to or not. And actually, I'm sure during the year of 2020, a lot of you experienced this because probably a lot of you started working at home. And as it started, I bet you were like, this is awesome. But then after the months going by and by and by, you might even kind of start to miss going into the office. In summary, I am not trying to complain about my situation at all. It's just that when I tell people that I meet that, I quit my job and left the Monday through Friday 9 to 5 behind, and now I'm working for myself, a lot of people say, oh, that's so cool. I'm so jealous. And I just want people to realize that there are good things over here too. To be happy with what you have, that everything isn't rainbows and butterflies over here. I'm really not trying to complain. I do enjoy making videos. I'm happy to be on YouTube. Just keep in mind that the grass is always greener. Illuminati confirmed. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate your presence and you smashing like and leaving comments. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Although I'm sure if you're here at the very end, you've probably already done that. You're one of the 3%ers who make it this far, or you just left the video playing while you were cooking eggs in the kitchen. Still appreciated. Thank you. That being said, hope you have a fantastic week. Keep it magical, and I'll see you next time. Yup.